Hey everyone, how are we going? I thought I would come to you again with some more tips that I've been learning over the last week or so with all of this craziness that's going on in the world at the moment. I hope everyone is feeling safe, not in fear. I really hope that people are taking some self-care for themselves if you're in lockdown or if you're someone who needs to do that sort of stuff to keep your vibe high. And that's what this video is about. So I know there is a lot of fear going around at the moment, and I know that there is a lot of self-doubt or doubt around what is going to happen in the next few weeks or what's happening right now. And obviously with me being in Australia, we are in a completely different time with the coronavirus and with what's happening compared to, say, Europe, America, Germany, those sorts of places. It's insane the amount of people that I'm touching base with that are having different issues and that are further into what this is doing in their country compared to what's happening in Australia. So I just wanted to give you some ideas and tips around things I've been learning myself. And I've been learning these from people that I love listening to, that are self-development people, personal development people, people who have a very high vibe, who always want to encourage the world or be someone of value to us. And I really feel it's important to learn from these people right now, or to keep ourselves, touching base with them and in check with them and listening to what it is that they're saying to us or what it is that they're teaching, so that we can stay high vibe and we don't go into that place of fear. We want to stay in a place of gratitude, of love, of appreciation. And, right now we're with our families and, if you're in isolation, if your kids are at home, those sorts of things, let's use that time wisely. Let's use this to our advantage and not think of it in a fearful state. So some people I love learning from are people like James Yates. Now, he's a high performance coach. He's someone who is always high vibe. He's always giving high value. And I wanted to share some of his tips with you, but some of his tips go along actually with Rebecca Rowe, and she's actually a holistic nutritionist and a cleanse strategist. And, she lives here on the Sunshine Coast. She's someone that I also follow. These two people alone are not just who I listen to, but right now they're giving me the self-care tips that I need and that I want to keep myself in that higher vibe, in a positive state, and to be focused on the right things and not focused in fear. So along with what they've given us in tips, I've also got some of my own that I've thrown in here as well, but I wanted to say those people's names in case you want to go follow them. Both of them live on the Sunshine Coast. Both of them are very high vibe type people, love giving value, and both of them are really high performance type people that we should be learning from. And I love that they're on our back doorstep and we can learn from these people right around the corner. So I'll just give you some of those tips. So to start off with, let's look at detoxification. Now, a body has a detoxifying defense mechanism. This is our lymphatic drainage system. This is what boosts our immunity. It's something that is attached to our immune system. Our lymphatic drainage system is really important in this, what's going on right now. We don't want to be in high stress state. We don't want to be someone who's not moving, who's living in fear, who's retracted or tense, those sorts of things. We want to be in flow and in ease and in that sort of state. And so if your lymphatic drainage system is under pressure right now, so is your immune system. And our lymphatic drainage system is also not only a part of our immune system, but it's also a part of our white blood cells. So it's actually produces our white blood cells. And our white blood cells, if you don't know, are what help our body to rid itself of bacteria and viruses. So we want high white blood cells, and we know that with this virus, it's suppressing white blood cell count. And so that comes back to, lymphatic drainage system, detoxification system. Let's make sure that we're doing things that keep this alive, that keep this high for us. So, you think about movement, exercise, dancing with your kids, singing around the house, have a look at, different apps or things you can use. Drinking a lot of water. Water is really good for lymphatic drainage, detoxifying of the body. Deep breathing, so I'll go a bit more into that one soon, but deep breathing is really important for your drainage system, your detoxification system, and your mindset as well. And eating the food. So last week I did a video on, the top 10 foods to boost your immunity. And those foods are some of the ones here, you know, which can really help lymphatic drainage in the body as well. So things like your dark leafy greens, low sugar fruits, your flax seeds, chia seeds, avocados, nearly all of your nuts, cranberries, garlic, you know, all of those things that I mentioned on that other video. If you want to go and watch that video, you can see that as well. And even things like your berries, high antioxidant foods, your citrus fruits with your vitamin C, those sorts of things. There's so much we can talk about with this. But today I really wanted to focus on that self-care and really making sure we are all staying in that higher positive vibe state, you know, to make sure that we are not living in that fearful state or suppressing ourselves and then making our kids feel that from us, because they feel everything from us, right? So if we're tense and we're closed off and we're in fear, they're going to pick up on that. So we need to try and keep ourselves flowing and with ease and in gratitude and appreciation and just in that mode where we want to be with family, and see this as an opportunity to reflect and restore and rest and, you know, do all the things that we should be doing. It's almost like it's a positive thing in some way, that it's forcing us to slow down and forcing us to have that relaxed time or that time with family at home, because that's so important. And most of us forget about that, or we don't have the time for that because life just gets in the way. So another one, like they always say, you know, put your mask on first before you put everyone else's mask on. And I know it's hard when you have kids, you want to look after them first, but if you're sick or if you're run down or if you've got things going on that aren't, you know, keeping you in check, the kids are going to suffer because mum's not 100% or dad's not 100%. So, you know, as they always say, put your mask on first. So this is why these self-care tips for you are so important right now first, and then you can instill those on your kids and your family as well. So going back to the deep breathing thing, let's look at mindfulness or meditation or, you know, James even said, you know, looking at sound healing or prayer or whatever it is for you that can really help. Hypnotherapy, you know, breath work. You know, a lot of people are saying, do the breath work where you hold your breath, you know, you breathe in, you hold it for like 10 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever it may be, and then you let it out for like 8, you know, many seconds longer than you breathe in. And what this does is it helps the nervous system to calm down, it helps the mind to calm down, and it helps us to live more in a relaxed state instead of having that tenseness that's going on at the moment. Another one is to raise your vibe and your mood in many different ways that give you movement, you know, and it's so important to have your vibe high right now. But how do we do that? So let's look at movement. So dance around with your kids. Put on some favorite music that you all love. Go and look up some apps on your phone where you can all exercise together. There's some really cool ones around kids yoga or Pilates, or, you know, you could put one on for your kids on your iPad or something, and then, or on your laptop or whatever, and then you do your own sort of half an hour to 60-minute exercise. What else are we going to do, right? If we're in isolation, what else are we doing? So this is the kind of stuff we can be doing, which is going to help to raise that vibe and to keep our endorphins high, our happy hormones in check, and to keep us in a state where we're not living in fear. So not only that, you could have you guys seen that song, that every little cell in my body is happy, every little cell in my body as well? I think it is. Go and look at that. So on Facebook and Instagram, there's this song going around about, you know, the cells in the body being happy. That's a gratitude, appreciation type song. And our brain loves repetition. So the more that we sing stuff like that, the more we feel in this calm state. The nervous system sits calm. You know, we stay in a state of homeostasis instead of really, you know, lifting the nervous system and then causing, you know, inflammatory responses and all sorts of different things. So sing. Honestly, I don't care if you can sing or not. Just start singing with your kids, dancing around. Sing that song. Go and find it on Facebook and Instagram and those sorts of things. It's such a cool song, and my kids have already been singing it. We only learnt it yesterday, but they've already been singing it all yesterday when we were, you know, cleaning their house up, and then this morning going to school. So that sort of stuff sticks, and that's really helping them to have some comfort as well right now. I'd love you guys to put in the comments some of the things you're doing for keeping you high vibe or keeping your personal development high or your mindset in check in this time. But, you know, these are just things I'm learning from other people, like I said, some high performance people. And I hope that you guys are as well. So I'd love you to put that in the comments if you are. As well, you know, like I said, reading reading books not only to your kids but for yourself. If they're happily playing, go and read a book. Go and listen to podcasts, listen to personal development for yourself. Anything that you can that's going to keep your focus in the right place is 100% better than watching the news or watching the media or checking in with friends going, oh my God, have you heard about this? And you know, you're all just in that real anxious state. It's the worst place to be, to try and be in appreciation right now, or to try and just be in a relaxed state right now, which is where we need to be for our immune system. So if we're really tense right now, if we're living in fear, that immune system is not in its 100% state. And this is where we need to protect that. So, you know, we need to do these sorts of things. And I just feel like, you know, if we can share that as much as possible, hopefully we can help each other with this sort of stuff. Another good one is like, call a friend. You know, call a friend and talk about the right things. Have a laugh with them. Have you got some friends you haven't spoken to in a while? Instead of talking about what's going on, you know, on the news and the media and on Facebook scrolling and those sorts of things, talk about what you haven't spoken about in the last few years or few months or whatever it may be. We all know laughter is such a good way to get into a high vibe state. So find ones that or go and watch a comedy show or something as well. You know, anything that we can do to keep us in check is going to help in this situation. We already said eating the right foods, those immunity foods that keep us high vibe, so low sugar foods, nothing that's takeaway. Obviously right now most of us are just buying as much as we can and living off what we have in the house, but hopefully that's nutritious and delicious and, you know, has a lot of the good nutrients that we need for our bodies right now to keep that immunity high alongside our mindset, because mindset is everything. You know, next to our food, next to our nutrition. It's just so important. But not only that, connect back with nature. So what about nature right now? Vitamin D not only is good for our immunity, it's good for our mood. It's good to get our kids out into the garden and just explore. You know, if you've got your kids at home right now, go and start exploring your garden. What insects can you find? What plants and flowers can you find? What bugs are in your garden that you can then bring back inside in a container and start researching those with your kids? This is stuff that you could help each other learn from while we're sitting at home bored. You know, we can make this fun, and not only are you getting out in nature to raise your vibe and to get yourself in a good, happy place, you're not watching the news, you're not, you know, on the phone, but you're able to go outside with your kids and explore and have adventure, and then bring that back inside and be able to go, cool, what is it we've found here? Let's look it up and see what this is. And the kids love doing that, don't they? They love to be able to explore and then learn from what they've explored. And that is putting a smile on everyone's face. It's keeping the mood high. It's keeping the kids from being bored. They're not on, you know, social media themselves or telephones or iPads. They're not playing games. They're exploring. And so we can do that with them and feel just as good. And when we do this, this is a time when you can ground yourself, take your shoes off and go just walk on the grass. And we know that that can really help to calm our nervous system when we're walking around out on the dirt and the grass and grounding ourselves and keeping ourselves in that state. Oh my goodness, for our mindset, that is so good. And that is something that can really help us to stay calm and stay at ease and not be in that fearful state again. I know I keep saying that about being in that fearful state, but we don't want to be. We need to get out of that if we are, and we need to start giving each other ideas of how we can do that. So it's just so important for our immunity right now to do that. Other things is, you know, de-stressing by, like I said, turning off the social media, stop scrolling Facebook and things like that. Don't call your friends or text them about the issues that are going on, but instead call them, like I said, about the fun things that have been happening in your life before this, or find out what's been going on in their lives. Even things like a good de-stressor is burning essential oils and having that smell going through the house, or, you know, close the house up for a little while, have these oils going on, turn some epic music on and dance around with your family and just be silly for a while. You have no idea how much that raises your happy hormones and makes you get into a massive high vibe state. It really does. And not only that, you're protecting your emotional state and you're protecting your kids' emotional state, which is so important. There is 4 happy hormones that we should be raising all the time. There's oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Oh my God, how do I forget endorphins? But obviously, You think of endorphins, that comes from movement, that comes from having fun, like the dancing, the singing, and all the things with exercise. And like I said, you could do yoga, Pilates, normal exercise, go find stuff on apps. You could just dance around with your kids, get your heart rate up and get your endorphins going. It's so much fun to do that when we do. But not only that, think about oxytocin. That's the love hormone. You know, if we can cuddle each other, obviously they're saying not cuddle in public or don't touch people, but your kids and your family at home, why not have a hugging party or do something where you guys, you know, for, don't they say like 30 seconds? If you can raise your oxytocin by cuddling your kids for 30 seconds, and they will probably be like, Mom, get off me. But you're like, no, keep it there a bit longer, because what that does is it raises everyone's happy hormones, the oxytocin, and it gives the, you know, that more of an empathy type feeling. And we get this from socializing, the phone calls, the cuddles, and that sort of stuff. So oxytocin's a big one right now. Dopamine, people say, is your happy hormone in the brain, but that comes from anticipation and excitement. So the reason that we love the media or we get drawn to it is dopamine. So when you're like, oh my God, what's happening next? What are the news saying right now? That is raising dopamine, but in the wrong way. So let's raise it in the right way. And, you know, anticipation of, oh my God, what have my friends been up to at the moment? Or kids, let's go outside and find what insects we can go and see, and then research those. You know, that can raise your dopamine as well. So look at it in the right way to raise that happy hormone. And then obviously the other one's serotonin. Things like sunlight, the gratitudes. Why not even do like a gratitude challenge with your kids? What is it you're most thankful for in life right now? Let's write out 20 each. See who can get their 20 first, and play a game with it. Like, what are we thankful or grateful for right now? I do this with my kids at night before they go to bed. I don't do 20, but I ask them what they're thankful for. But you could do this as a game, and this is going to raise that serotonin. That's that neurotransmitter from your gut to your brain that switches on when we're in that high vibe gratitude state. But not only that, sunlight. Obviously there's no sunlight today for us on the sunny coast, but you know, that can raise your serotonin as well and make you feel so much better. And not only that, it's helping the vitamin D. Vitamin D helps your body with your immune system. There's so many different aspects to this that could be working for us. So I hope that those self-care tips were of value to you. Like I said, go look up James Yates or go look up Rebecca Rowe. They're the ones I've been learning from at the moment, because they are the type of people that are high performance, self-care type people that I really want to be tapping into right now to keep my vibe in the same state as theirs and not in this fearful state. And I hope that you guys are as well. So thank you all for listening in, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.